Hello, my name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and long ago, when I didn't have a ring light or a tripod to my name, just a stack of tissue boxes, a shitty camcorder, a Google Doc, and a dream, I delved into a place that I fear we've all been acquainted with. The I'm not like other girls community. And forget about acquainted, okay? Some of us were residing there. Historically and presently, being a woman is often associated with being less than. To align yourself with femininity is to align yourself with inferiority. And then this resulted in this sort of outdated brand of feminism that basically says, no, I can be strong, capable, intellectual, and intriguing. Like a man. I'm not like other girls. I can throw a football and I have a personality outside of nail polish. And listen, this is not supposed to be a serious video. Because I've poked fun at men a lot on this channel, right? For the ways that they put down women, demean women, pit women against each other, so on and so forth. And although obviously it is to a different extent and it's in a different way, women sometimes can do that too. Sometimes we can do that to each other. We can do anything. I am not a girl's girl. If I don't like you, you better be sure you'll know it. I will not get all high-pitched and excited over something with you. I will probably give you the weird look your dad gives you if I think something you bought was stupid. Stupid questions get stupid answers. It's so inspiring. You'll probably find me in the shop before the kitchen. And last but not least, you will never catch me competing with a 10-cent Barbie. Gotta weed 'em out, honey bun. There's quite a bit to unpack here. Anytime a woman proudly states that they are not a girl's girl, standing at the top of Pride Rock with a bullhorn, just making it known to everyone, it's like, I just know that you had some bad experiences in your female friendships to make you feel this way. And then I start sort of taking on the rhetoric of how people talk to lesbians about men, where it's like, baby, you just haven't found the right one yet. Trust me, girl, there is a female friendship out there somewhere for you. And then you two can both not go into the kitchen and go into the shop instead, which, hi, shopping, that's girly. No, I'm assuming they meant for cars and whatnot. And then you and your female friend, you can get matching wrenches or matching screwdriver, whatever it is that you find in quote unquote the shop. What I will say is that you do not have to worry about this woman being fake to you. She's not going to pretend to care about something that she does not care about. You go up to her saying, oh, I'm so excited. I just got the new Sanrio X Labubu pink Coach purse and she's going to do this. Also, comparing women to a 10-cent Barbie, that's not very nice, okay? If you called me a 10-cent Barbie, I would say, first of all, where are you getting a Barbie for 10 cents? And then, I would do one of those things where, when someone calls you a bitch, and then you say, oh, well, a bitch is a female dog, and dogs bark, and bark is on trees, and trees are beautiful. So really, you just called me beautiful. I think that's such a great way to infuriate your insulter, because, well, it doesn't make sense. You just called me a 10-cent Barbie? Well, a Barbie has an entirely smooth crotch, just like a pearl. And a pearl comes from an oyster, which is an aphrodisiac. And a pomegranate is also an aphrodisiac, and it's red, hard exterior, just like a big, juicy lobster. And a lobster comes from the ocean, and the ocean is a part of nature, and nature is beautiful. So really, you just called me beautiful. And could I have connected everything to the ocean when I talked about the oyster? Yeah, I sure as hell could have, but I didn't, because I'm a woman and I'm stupid. Sorry guys, the hair is going up because it is so freaking hot in my room. I wish that I had some top quality, lightweight, comfy clothing to wear. But it's a good thing that today's video is sponsored by Halara. In my honest opinion, Halara's clothes are comfortable and great for essentials. At Halara, they believe that clothing should support your movement and comfort, not restrict it. Their mission is to create pieces that empower you to embrace life with joy, authenticity, and style, moving freely throughout every part of your day. They strive to understand what works best for the Halara woman, right? Reimagining athleisure through crowdsourced and crowd-tested designs. On every second Sunday, Halara invites you into the Halara Circle, which is the heart of their design process. This is where you can get a first look and feel of their latest designs for free. And it's not just about trying new products, it's about shaping them, okay? After you experience one of their upcoming featured products, they invite you to share your invaluable feedback with them. Through a brief survey through email, you're able to give your own suggestions on where they can improve in the future. Also, make sure to use my code NOTEVENEMILY to get 20% off fully priced items. All of the product links will be in the description below. First thing I have to say about Halara is that they are selective with the fabric they use. So their clothes are soft inside and out, they provide the perfect amount of stretch, and they are durable yet breathable. And this is a huge plus for me. You don't have to worry about them being see-through. In fact, the only white tank top I have that is not see-through is from Halara, and my ethnic girls, you know why that's important. And Halara items are versatile, okay? You can wear them to brunch, vacation, to work, running errands, whatever your heart desires. They have a variety of colors to bring out your personal style and a variety of sizes, many ranging from extra small to 4X. Halara's goal is to offer fairly priced, top quality products so that everyone can have pieces that enhance their wardrobe and day-to-day outfits. So let me know, what was your favorite item? And shape the styles that you love. The future of Halara is in your hands. Make sure to join the circle and let us know what's next for you and your wardrobe, okay? Let us continue to be inspired by what moves you. And again, if you want to get some of these comfy, top-notch pieces, make sure to use my code NOTEVENEMILY to get 20% off fully priced items. And thank you to Halara for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. Let's open these doors, see a bunch of women in the room, and say, I'm not like any of you. How many ladies can honestly say this? I still have my real nails, real eyebrows, real eyelashes. I'll wait. I'm sorry, the first time I read this and I saw the I'll wait, I automatically just thought of a teacher. Me in the middle of teaching my 4th grade class. All right, everyone, let's put the colored pencils down. How many of you fake biatches can say that you have your real face? No filler, no Botox. I'll wait. Okay, most of you. That's good because you're all 9 years old. Are you girls done giving each other lip injections back there, or can I start the lesson and try to prepare you for the future that you seem to not care about? No one seems to give a fuck about an isosceles triangle anymore. Honestly, my husband's lucky. He got a $7 ice cream and $7 mascara kind of wife, instead of a $1,500 purse and $80,000 car kind of wife. Oh, honey, with inflation, we're all gonna be the $1,500 purse kind of wife soon. With the way things are going, my hypothetical husband would have to set aside a fund just in case I want an acai bowl. We have a separate savings account for eggs. And listen, some women do expect their man to pay for literally everything, so I understand the sentiment of the joke. And obviously, I don't know your husband's financial state, and while we could think of him as lucky, we should maybe also ponder whether your husband would even be with the $80,000 car wife to begin with. Because the way this is worded, it makes it sound like he won some sort of wife lottery and just got lucky and happened to get the $7 ice cream kind of wife. It's time to see my fate. Oh, thank God I got a $2 chapstick kind of wife instead of a $300 Chanel lipstick kind of wife. Like, okay, you know, your husband might be lucky in a sense, if you want to think about it that way, but he might also just be logistical. Because I know that I don't have the type of disposable income to have an $80,000 car kind of wife, so I am happy to report that I don't have one. And if I were with that kind of wife, I wouldn't necessarily call myself unlucky, I would call myself unwise. I'd rather giggle in his arms in a floral dress than hustle in heels just to cry with 5 cats in a blazer. Right. I mean, sure. I get what this person is trying to say, but it's also like, are those the only 2 options? You know, and we could go back and forth doing this all day, right? You know, I'd rather have my own salary and wide leg jeans than be gaslit by my boyfriend for the 4th time in a 5-hour period in ballerina flats. You know, we're just saying shit to say shit. Also, I like picturing this girl boss caricature hustling in heels to cry with 5 cats in a blazer, except she's not wearing the blazer. The cats are in the blazer. I think that's beautiful. You know, she is hustling. sprinting in these Louboutin heels. She's sobbing, hyperventilating. She's pushing people out of the way, elderly and children, mind you, and she's thinking there's only one thing in her mind. I need to see these cats in a fucking large Zara blazer. But yeah, I mean, I guess I would have to admit that I would rather be giggling in a man's arms than being, I guess, visibly upset about something. And 5 cats is too many for me, right? But I think the only way I would be okay with it is if the man understood that I wouldn't be in his arms again, right? Like, this was just sort of a tit for tat sort of thing. I was only given 2 options. You were raised on Sesame Street. I was raised on WWE Raw. We're not the same. Right, in preschool, when the rest of you pussies were playing with Elmo dolls, I was sneaking up behind you with a folding chair. When my mother was pregnant with me, she wore a wrestling belt around her stomach to ensure that I would come out a champion. And lo and behold, I came out punching and kicking. I ripped apart my own umbilical cord, and this was the first thing that I heard, that she made the nurses play this out loud as I was born. You know, I'm just imagining if I had a daughter and she brought over this little girl for a play date. I bring over the snacks and I say, okay, so what do we want to watch? Dora or Paw Patrol? And then this little girl gets right in my face and says, none of that pussy shit. And then she slaps me across the face and spits in my eyes and kicks me in the shins. Okay, here's another we are not the same sort of post. Okay. I'm not a Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez girly. I'm a girly that's listening to what my mom grew up listening to. We are not the same. I grew up listening to what my mom listened to. My dad yelling. Yeah, I would be in charge of the aux, but I only listened to the stuff that my mom listened to, so none of you would probably know it. I mean, you could just put it on. Maybe we would know it. Okay, if you want. This is one of me and my mom's favorites.
Honey, when are the kids' birthdays again? What? I can't hear you. Turn off the vacuum. No, I can't just ask you later. I'm curious. What? I can't be curious about my own kids?
Okay, yeah, we can turn this off. And you know what? I don't know you, so this could be totally not how you act, but I feel like this reminds me of the type of people where they're sort of like, I only listen to old music. People and artists you've probably never even heard of before. And then the singer in question is like Whitney Houston. And I'm also like, was this always a thing? You know, was this something that always gave people a superiority complex? Like decades and decades and decades ago, were there girls who were like, I'm not a Beatles girl or a Frank Sinatra girl. I listen to the sounds of the ancient pyramids being built and caveman grunts. We are not the same. I watched her as she lifted her face to the rain with her eyes closed, a slight smile on her lips. What was she thinking? Something about this action seemed off, and I quickly realized why the posture looked unfamiliar to me. Normal human girls wouldn't raise their faces to the drizzle that way. Normal human girls usually wore makeup, even here in this wet place. Right. So it's sounding like you should be concerned that you're in the presence of an extraterrestrial. And you know, that's sound advice that I would give to all men, right? If you ever see a woman barefaced, barf, and they're lifting their faces up to the rain, I'd say that's grounds to get the government involved. Because you're right, human girls are always wearing makeup, especially in public. It's a part of our nature. One time I saw a blind elderly person getting robbed outside of my house, but before I went outside to intervene, of course I did have to put on a full face of glam. Unfortunately, by the time I was done with my full face of makeup, I went outside and 2 other blind elderly people had already been robbed. And also at the end saying, even here in this wet place. Where are we? Where are we? A swamp? It's like you're in the middle of a marsh or the Amazon rainforest, and this guy is like, wait, so you have food and water, but where's your Fenty highlighter and your MAC lipstick? You're a woman. Isn't that supposed to be more important to you? When my ex gets a big booty girl, but she ugly, so I can't even be mad because I'm pretty with no booty. Math. People are always saying women aren't logical, but look at the arithmetic that took place here to get to this conclusion. But you know, it is true that when you're comparing yourself to your ex's new partner, there is sort of this hypothesis that's going on in your head. If she has bigger boobs than me, then it doesn't matter that I wrote him 200 love poems, because ultimately the poems were not that good, and her rack is amazing. And girl, don't get me wrong, to an extent, I suppose. I kind of understand you just because, you know, comparing yourself to others is natural, okay? It's as natural as a spring creek on a lovely May evening, right? Posting it online, however, well, I think there are some things that are meant to stay in the group chat and, dare I say, even your mind, right? And it's sort of this thing where, yeah, it's like if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe don't say it at all. And that is hypocritical of me, because some of the most vile things I've ever said in my life were in regards to my ex. But this isn't about your ex. This is about your ex's new girl. And who knows? She could be a lovely woman, right? I mean, I guess you did compliment her arsenal, but then you did call her ugly. And listen, if you're not concerned with the kindness portion and you don't care if you're being kind or not, think about the pride portion, right? This is something that, you know, if you ever feel like posting something publicly about your ex and their new partner, just imagine this, right? Imagine that they just got done having freak, nasty, crazy, mind-blowing sex. They're laying in bed, cuddling together, looking at your post and laughing about it together and making fun of you together. Take preventative action. Wow. You got a Stanley? I could never, LOL. I hate basic bitches and their Stanleys. It makes me happy to be different from everyone else. They're just overpriced cups for basic bitches to buy. Good for you. I mean, this can't be real. Right. She's speaking with the amount of venom in her words, like estranged family members who distance themselves because of their opposite political beliefs. Also, this sounds like dialogue written by a 45-year-old man for a teen Netflix show. Or even, dare I say, AI posing as a 45-year-old man who's writing for a teen Netflix show. Listen, would I personally buy a Stanley Cup? No. And that's because I'm frugal and chronically dehydrated. This person seems very passionate about it. I feel like if you were to lock this girl in a room full of, you know, the latest female-centered fads, it would essentially be a saw trap for her.
Let's play a game.
Okay? The fuck?
You have 3 options. Take a labubu. Can you let me finish?
Sorry.
Take a labubu. A Sunny Angel, or a Hello Kitty matcha face mask?
I'd rather take a hot iron rod down my throat.
That's not one of the options.
Well, it's what I would rather have. Your mom's mad at you for smoking and drinking. My mom's mad that I'm at the gym every time I answer the phone. We are not the same. You know, if I was your mom and every time you picked up the phone you were at the gym, I would probably be mad. You told me you were picking me up from the airport, and lo and behold, when I call you, the only thing you're picking up is that damn dumbbell. You know, your mom calling saying, honey, grandpa's funeral is in 5 minutes, where are you? And your only response is, on that fucking grind. You know, because of you, they're gonna start a support group for mothers whose daughters are always at the gym. Me and your siblings, we miss you. We haven't seen you since the summer barbecue of '09 when you got a little bit too excited about Aunt Bertha's weight gain and then you tried to bench her. Though I honestly do admire people who seem to be stationed at the gym though. You know, when I used to work 12-hour shifts in the hospital, we would get off of having like the worst shift of our lives, and then some of my coworkers would get changed in the bathroom and then immediately go to the gym right after. I'm scared. Okay, so this one's kind of a long one, but it is a doozy. My guy, this is your insecurity you'll need to overcome. This is not on her. 42F here, and I'll be honest, being friends with females typically gives me the ick. I don't do petty small talk, I don't gossip, I don't give a flying fuck about fashion. I work on my own car, I scream, fuck 'em up, during hockey fights, and I think most females are boring as fuck, and I'd rather chew my fingernails off than have a girls' night with vapid wigs wearing legs. If you want her to change, you're not the one for her. Don't project your insecurities and expect her to fix them. Okay, it's a mixture of different things because some of it seems to be sound advice and then there's this sort of internal misogyny explosion that happens. And then someone responds to her post, right, saying, personally, it's a red flag to me when someone is incapable of getting along with either gender. The old adage of, are you really encountering 100 assholes a day, or are you just the asshole? Having male friends isn't weird to me. Being unable to form relationships with women because they are women is. And then, of course, OP had to defend themselves, right? I'm so happy I'm weird. Being judged for having a personal preference, exactly why I prefer to be friends with men. Look how judgmental you're proving to be right off the bat. Yikes. We just witnessed something really magical, right? You saying, look how judgmental you're proving to be to this woman. Meanwhile, just one message ago, you called women, and I quote, vapid wigs wearing legs. I fear the judgment is coming from inside the house. And the thing is, I don't know the context of like who she's giving advice to or whatever, but it sounds like pretty solid, a little tough love type advice. But then she goes haywire with this, with the hatred for women. Listen, buddy, if you want this relationship to work out, you can't make her into something that she's not, which is just a boring as stupid woman. No skills or interests outside of counting calories and gossiping, and almost the whole species is like that. Just a pair of walking acrylic nails that are sometimes verbal. For better or for worse, mostly for worse. So don't worry about it too much, kid. Just focus on yourself. I mean, saying you would rather chew off your fingernails than have a girls' night, I'm almost like, I feel bad for you because you just have never, been able to witness the magic of a girls' night. Especially in like middle school, sort of high school days where, you're having a sleepover with literally 10 other girls and there's no more room on the floor, so you sleep on a glass table without a blanket. True story. But yeah, I need to give this woman a Hailey Bieber smoothie, a quinoa salad, and lock her inside an Aritzia with 5 other LA influencers and just see what happens. I feel like something will occur. Something that should be documented for future psychology classes. I woke up, proud stay-at-home mom. I'm not a feminist. I'm not fat. The sun is shining. Enjoy eating meat. Life is great. It's the little things. There's nothing better than a hot cup of joe, the morning sun peeking from behind the clouds, and the comfort of knowing I should have never been able to vote. I love the way that this is written because it sounds like affirmations. Looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm not a feminist. I'm not fat. I fucking love meat. And listen, there's nothing wrong with proudly being a stay-at-home mom. In fact, those are one of the hardest jobs that there is, right? However, I am afraid for the daughters of this mom because, well, a fat-shaming, non-feminist mother? Hell, I might even be more scared if she has sons. She's gonna be enrolling little Timmy into alpha male classes before he's even lost all of his baby teeth. But they also do always say that if you're too harsh on your kids, it can backfire and they'll rebel, right? Little Timmy grows up to bring home his first girlfriend who is a fat feminist vegetarian. And then his mom is about to turn to her, boy mom Facebook support group who she's the admin of. So these posts are kind of giving a riveting saga of sorts. A beautiful spellbinding tale. Wife, why do women have to cook for their men? Husband, because by law, all prisoners have to be fed. Guys, if a woman grabs a knife while you're arguing, grab the mayonnaise and mustard and her female instinct will kick in and she'll make you a sandwich. Sis, you're not a snack when you have 5 kids by 5 baby daddies. You're an Arby's 5 for 5. You've had the meats. Jokes. If you have more than 3 baby daddies, please do not vote. You will pick the wrong man again. I said what I said. Now listen. I don't know this woman, okay? Satire and ironic humor, it's huge right now. So she could be doing something like that. However, I have a bad feeling in my gut. And it's going up towards my chest and radiating down my arm. I might be having a heart attack. This sounds like stuff from Pearl H. Davis's notes app if she were taking a stand-up class. And when she presents this shit in front of the class, it's absolutely silent. Like, even the crickets are quiet. And it's also reminding me of the type of jokes that would be on a t-shirt that you print out at the boardwalk. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like the beach boardwalk t-shirts that are sold in the stores, and it seems like the sense of humor has not developed since 2012. Like, the world really did end for them back then. It's very much so giving, cool story, babe, now go make me a sandwich. Do you guys remember those relics? So this one doesn't really have much text, but I think the image speaks for itself. It's hard being the black sheep of not only your family, but your entire species. Although this image is sort of calling other girls basic, which isn't very nice or productive or helpful, I do love the idea of just holding up a sign that says error whenever you don't feel like you belong somewhere. For example, me in the gym in front of the machines that I don't understand. When I'm in a group of people and they keep talking about inside jokes that I'm not a part of. Me at any sports game. You know, that would be such a fun way to let people know, hey, I might be in the wrong place. POV. They hesitated, but I walked in with flip-flops and showed them I bring more to the dance floor than the girls in heels. A foot fungus. No, but really, showing up to the club in flip-flops? Oh, that's crazy work. Like, girl, I hope you have your tetanus shot. And I love the fact that she mentioned they hesitated. I just love picturing this girl busting the doors wide open. Mute. Everyone is record scratch from the DJ and everything. But to be honest, you know, dancing in flip-flops seems hard, right? I can hardly even put on a pair of flip-flops without being extremely cognizant of the fact that there's essentially a thong in my toe crack. And I can't really even walk around like that, let alone do-si-do. Just admit that you're jealous. Interesting. The power of the parentheses. This teaches us that if you try hard enough, you can fat shame with anything. Me. Pretty, cute, puts in effort, chalant, good music taste, cares, good sense of humor, sweet, smart, smelling good, always helping others. Other girls. A bitch. That's awesome. Feeling inspired with that one. Ugh, why can't you be more normal? Why can't you be more interesting? Right. Girl, you're literally holding up a skull to your face like it's a flip phone. Why can't I be more normal? Why can't you be more interesting? I say while I'm dragging a dead body in a wagon behind me. You know, this is very Tate from American Horror Story coded, right? Normal people scare me. Why, you people are so normal and boring. Why can't you develop a personality and help me bury this body? So this post involves a lot of emojis, so I'm just forewarning you that I'm going to be describing them out loud, right? How do I say that I am this lesbian with the following emojis? American flag, muscular arm, Christ, gun, baby. And I'm not this lesbian with these types of emojis. Trans flag, rainbow flag, smiling devil, vaccine, pregnant man, face mask. You could just say you're a Republican. This is why I don't understand girls and I only play with boys. You lassie are too big on drama and assumptions. They need their own spaces, and it's just a small gesture that we can get over easily. Even easier than reaching orgasms. So it's not easy. You know that women's orgasms are like a little fickle sometimes. And I'm saying this as a woman, right? Sometimes it can be a little bit of an environmental thing, right? There was one time that I even just sensed the presence of a fly in my room and it completely took me out of it. You know, sometimes if there's a draft or the sheet is crumpled under me in a certain way, it's like I basically have to start over at square one. Okay, I'm done. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and listen, I know that the new camera, it might take some getting used to. It might take some getting used to, but I am begging of thee to please give it a chance because, well, I spent a lot of money on it and my old camera, it's about to be barely functional. So I think we're gonna have to make do, guys. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know, have you ever had a moment where, you know, a I'm not like other girls moment? Comment down below. And stay hydrated, eat a good meal, hug your family, and until next time.